I'm Natalie SUGAR Brown, a master of pugilism. Yeah, I said it. I've boxed competitively for over 20 years, and my journey has made me the person that I am, a champion. I was a two-time IABA World Silver Medalist representing Jamaica and USA, National Golden Glove Champion, champion of two countries, PAL champion, just to name a few. After having so many elite accomplishments as an amateur, I boxed professionally. My professional record is 7-3-1 with 6 KOs. It was very hard to get fights as a professional because of my amateur background. So I ended up training, traveling, and doing exhibitions. I've trained with the best of boxing, males and females, and I'm truly grateful for the experiences, good and bad. It wasn't a walk in the park, but I learned to enjoy every opportunity and make the best of it. I learned to win and lose. That's that shit that made me.
Love that slideshow, man. What up, Talkin Fight fans? You know what it is, man. Thanks for tuning in to this wonderful debut episode of the Sugar Show featuring our host, Natalie, Miss TooBad Brown. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your debut episode today. It's an exciting time for us here at Talking Fight. We're glad to have you a part of the family, and we welcome you on board. And you know what? Let's take it away and get this wonderful show underway and start to start the beginning of this wonderful experience that we're gonna bring the fans.
Awesome, let's talk.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So the slideshow, is just a little peek, some images, of the journey.
Yes, and
Uh, there-
definitely a
you
long
know,
journey. Definitely a long journey. A long journey. Definitely you.
long journey. What you trying to say? Huh?
No, I'm just.
I,
No, I'm trying to. I'm
I'm
trying to say. I'm trying to say. You are a veteran in the game. You solidified yourself, your career. You've done lots for women in boxing. You've come a long way in your own. You've paved the way for younger women to come and follow in your footsteps. And this slideshow really is showing your strengths and everything that you brought to the game. And honestly, congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We all did it together. I did my part.
Right.
Um, it wasn't it. it wasn't a single effort, and there was not, there wasn't a queen. It was, it was actually a group of gangster females that decided that, you know what, we want to fight, and that's what we're going to do. And we just kept doing it until you see what you see now, this wonderful opportunities and the growth of women's boxing. So, I mean, we can get into it. Talk to me, Mike.
Honestly, I want to talk about the competition expectations as a woman, and how, like, what is expected, what do you get, what, like, let's run through it from start to finish. Like,
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, let's talk about the journey. Okay.
yeah,
I started when I was a teenager. Um, there, this was in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, at the boxing gym was called Biggs Morrison Boxing Gym.
okay.
And oops, sorry for the background noise, but we had some good. We had the names in the gym. We had O'Neal Bell, Vernon Forrest, Robert Allen, like the Sims twins. Like, it was hype. It was popping. Chris Johnson, bronze medal. We had a good kitchen. And in the kitchen, there were some females, Isra Gigra, and Corinne Van Rijteke, Susie Taylor, just to name a few. And then here come my little scrappy butt came in the ring. It came in the gym. And so those ladies were, they were doing what they do. They were pro.
Right.
And the amateur scene was a dark and scary place, because that's where you couldn't choose or pick who you were going to fight or what you were going to get.
Right.
So there were no expectations really
Right.
for a young girl with Afro puffs walking into the gym
Right.
saying, I want to fight. As a matter of fact, the first man walked into the gym. He said, "What you doing here, young lady?" I said, I want to learn how to box. He said, "I don't want to learn how to box. You need to get you a boyfriend to fight for you." Why did he say that to me?
Right.
Right? In my mind, I was like, what you think? I'm gangster. You just don't see it yet. Right? So,
all probably like 85 pounds here at the time.
yes, and trust me, I had this baby face. It was just not believable. Just trust me. So, after showing up a couple times, and just being a pest, they let me train. They let me train with the guys. The ladies were in there, but I'm going to be honest. The terrain, the terrain, they weren't accepting. It was a high competition.
So
You walked into, yeah, they were all queens, and you walked into their house. Who do you think you are, child, little kid? So Chris Johnson, who was a Olympic bronze medalist at the time, and he was a young pro. He held the pads for me and stuff, and he said, "You know what? You could really box. You could do this. You could probably go to the Olympics if you want." And I said, "What?" My eyes lit up.
right.
Maybe he was spitting game. I don't know, but I felt like, yeah, I could do the Olympics. So lit my fire.
He got you hooked.
I showed up every day, and you know what? He was like a big brother to me. Yeah, he put me in the ring. And they do their little thing to test you.
Right.
Those are the expectations. Let's see if she got hard. Let's see what she got.
You're
So he
expecting
threw me in there with Isra. Yeah, he threw me in there with Isra.
Yeah.
And Isra was a big name at the time. Isra was signed with Don King's daughter, and Isra had fought Christy Martin
wow,
at the time. She had just come off of losing to Christy Martin, but she gave Christy a fight.
Right.
And so I got thrown in, and Isra, she stepped in my chest. I this little teenage girl, like I said, she showed me that, okay, you're gonna come in here and stand in here with me. You got to be something, right? So trust me, like after the first one, she's all upside my head, okay? And so after the first round, I ran back to the corner, and I was like, I ain't going back out there. Chris was in the corner. He was like, yes, you are. You going to finish it. You want to finish the sparring. I said, no, I'm not. He took the mouthpiece out. He said, yes, you are. I said, no, I'm not. I didn't know. He shoved the mouthpiece back in my mouth. And I was so pissed that he did it. I bit him. And then he pushed me back out in the ring. And in that round, I realized, you know what, Natalie, this is it. You're in a fight. So you do what you can. So I didn't know how to box, but I knew that street thing.
Right.
So I took it to the streets. Yeah. Okay. And I had a better round, and the rounds just kept better because, listen, Natalie didn't know how to box, but Natalie knew how to take it to the streets.
Right. So
I had fight in me.
Right.
And that's how I earned my stripes. So the expectation as a young girl, when you start up, it's really about letting you know that, or measuring if you can put your big girl panties on. Yeah. Right. And you know what I'm saying? And
they're not holding back. They're pushing.
Yeah.
They're pushing.
They want, yeah. There's no, she's a girl or whatever. No, it's even worse actually, because they want you to quit.
Right.
Or at that time, they want you to quit. They don't want another girl in the in the gym. Right. So
during the time that your career was taking place, right? Like women's boxing wasn't even recognized at the Olympics at this point.
Oh my gosh, that wasn't even that wasn't even in the conversation. Dallas Malloy just earlier had just sued USA Boxing for discrimination against women, because USA Boxing did not allow women to fight. Wow. So Dallas Malloy is a trailblazer. Right. She opened the door amateur-wise, Olympic-wise, for these young girls, for Clarissa Shields. Right. Clarissa Shields stands on her shoulders. But what happened to Dallas? Nobody knows Dallas, right? They just, everybody's just focused on this product here, but female boxing has a history. Yes. And we have to know these names, and we have to know these people, so we can celebrate them, and we can know that, yes, we've been there, done that, and we can build and stand, like I said, stand on each other's shoulders. Right. So at the time, we had just earned a national championships. It wasn't even, Olympics wasn't even a thought, but in my mind, right, Olympics, yes, we're going to get there. I'm going to get there, that's for sure. So I got in there. They threw me in there with everybody, right? The pros, like I said, I came up with O'Neal and them were in there. Chris, all of those guys, they were young guys in their early 20s. They had just turned pro too, so it was something that was new for them. Right. And I'd have to say, I have to give them their props. They took me under their wing as a little sister. Okay. And they put me in some shitty situations. They throw me in there with a big, big person, small person, or whatever, and then they'd make fun of me after, like how a big brother would make fun of a little sister after, like, yeah, I see you got rocked there, or you got hit with that body shot, I see, and you pulled that leg up, I see, So you learn to be tough, and you learn to banter back and forth, and that's a part of it too. Like I said in the earlier earlier interview we have, that talk is a part of it. You learn to talk that talk. You learn to fight talk.
Yeah.
You learn to tell them, yeah, all right, come see what this right hand do though. Oh, you look like you in the right position to catch this hook. You know what I'm saying? You start talking.
There was a lot of expectations on women to perform. A lot of pressure, wasn't there, at that time? Because women were so. What was there? A lot of pressure?
The pressure was more so about finding another female to fight.
Okay.
A lot of my sparring and a lot of all of these things in the beginning was with guys. So I was in there, and like most of the guys were trying to take my head off.
Right.
Yeah.
They felt that you didn't belong.
Well, some of them felt like they didn't belong, and some of them kind of wanted to see what it feels like to really hit a girl. Yeah. Right. So like I said, it was like territory. It was kind of like, strange territory for us all in there. And let me see. I'm going to give her this gut shot. Let me see how she do with this. Yeah. That's how that works. So, the pressure was now you get ready, and then you see all your male counterparts, all your amateur brothers, that they have fights coming up, and now you're ready and there's no fight. Or they say, oh, we heard of a girl 50 miles away, she boxes, we were trying to get y'all together, and then you find out this girl is a heavyweight, and you're a welterweight, and y'all can't fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I finally was able to get a fight though, and it was against my first fight. It was against a tough girl, but I came out and I knocked her out because I have the gift.
That's right, Miss TooBad.
I knocked her out. I felt like Mike Tyson. What? It's like, okay, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm the champ now, right? And it was the second fight that really made me who I am. It's the fight that opened the door. I fought a crone. And I'm going to explain to you what a crone is later on.
Okay.
But I fought a crone, meaning it was an older, mature woman.
Right.
That was in boxing.
Veteran.
And she walked in, she was bow-legged, and she had these broad shoulders, and she walked in, and she looked at me. She didn't say nothing. And, I'm hyped. We go to the corner, center of the ring. The referee explains everything, and she looking at me under her eyebrows.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at her like, yeah, this old lady or whatever. Yeah. I'm about to dust through her. It's going to be quicker than the first one, because the first girl was closer to my age,
Right.
That woman beat the brakes off me. Okay, from round 1 to round 4. From round 1 to round 3. It wasn't 4. And it was 3-minute rounds too. So I had to stand in there. Yeah. I remember when I got tired in round 2, and she realized it because I was swinging, and she there taking it. You could tell she had a couple beatings in her life because she was taking it.
Right.
All right. She took it. She waited until I got good and tired. And then when I took that breath, she looked at me. She looked at me up under her eyebrows, and she let me know, all right, little girl, it's time.
She's gonna bring it.
She started beating on me. Yeah, beating on me. And then I'm going from pole to pole, and in my mind, I'm the crowd is now yelling. people laughing. My mom then came from out the stands, the side of the ring. I'm tired. Coach Jim, this Coach Jackson, may he rest in peace. He's there telling me, you got to move now. I'm tired. I'm like, I'm tired. I can't move. My mom, she had the edge. She said, Natalie, you got to move. I looked down. I said, Mom, what you doing down here? She's not even allowed to be where she is, but she's seen her baby getting, beat. Yeah. So anyway, I went back in, and in the middle of that round 2, it was kind of like in what is that movie with Brad Pitt, and he's the gypsy, and goodness. Man. It's on the top of one of my favorite movies anyway. But it's like I got hit and everything went in slow motion. And I'm thinking in my mind.
You're thinking of Snatch.
Snatch, there it is. Snatch. And I'm thinking in my mind, should I quit? Should I quit? Mm-hmm. I can quit right now. And I decided, nope. I said, no, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this beating. And I took the beating and lost. And the crowd, came, they were looking, they were laughing. My amateur brothers, they came up to me and they were just shaking their head. And I took that L and I said to myself, this will never happen again. Right. And it hadn't happened. It didn't happen for a very long time. Right. I made it to the nationals. Okay. And the first nationals was kind of like an invitational that I went to. It was in Midland, Texas. Right. And that was the first tournament that I had gone to. My coach, Coach Jackson had passed away, and I had taken up with Coach Johnny Gant. Coach Johnny Gant was a top 3 in the world rated welterweight back in the 80s. Oh, wow. And so his claim to fame, he's a DC fighter. He fought Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay. And he was the gatekeeper for Ray Leonard, because after Ray Leonard beat him, Ray Leonard moved up and started fighting championship fights. Right. Became champion. And so I was with Johnny, and Johnny was telling me, you're not ready. But I wanted to redeem myself, and everybody, now USA Boxing had a handbook that you subscribe to, and you used to get it every month, you know, and you read through it, and they were promoting the nationals, and I'm like, I'm going. Coach Johnny told me I wasn't ready. I snuck out there anyway.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Chris got me there was an older lady that used to work out in the gym, and Chris told the lady, Natalie, she's she saw me sparring the boys and everything, and she was like a supporter for me. And Chris said, Natalie wants to go to the nationals, but she doesn't have the means to get there, and the lady paid for my whole trip. And I snuck out there without Johnny, with another female that had started boxing. She's a light heavyweight. Her name is Cynthia Lozano. We called her Sticks. Cynthia Lozano was in the light heavyweight class, 178 at the time. And so she flew out there with her coach, and I flew out there with them. And what happened was my flight got delayed, right? And I guess it was the universe, because I had gotten to the registration just as they closed the door. So I couldn't register for that national tournament. And I was bawling and everything, looking a mess in the hotel lobby, and it was a great opportunity, though. You think certain things are bad, but the universe works things out. Right. So I was able to watch and see and understand what was out here now, what the other women are doing.
Right.
and get the expectations down really of what I need to be, what level I need to be on, where I
Right.
need to be. And I was walking through the lobby, hotel lobby. We were there. It was at a Grand Hotel. I was walking through the lobby, and Roger Mayweather stopped me in the lobby. He was there, and he said, "Hey, you a boxer?" I had this thing where I wore Afro puffs there, and I said, "Yes, sir." I didn't even know it was Uncle Roger. Sorry, I didn't know it was Roger Mayweather. He said, "You don't look like a boxer. You need to come. You want to work out?" I say, yes, sir. I'm going to work out." Sorry, I'm just adjusting my phone.
No
And
problem.
he said, "Come, come to the workout lobby. Let me see what you got." So, um, met up with Roger, and I'm hitting, and he was like, "Oh, you got some pop." He said, "But you don't look like a fighter, though."
Right.
He kept saying that to me, and
You know,
it just kept pissing me off,
with with
not
with
knowing who he was.
with
Hmm.
the way he said that you don't look like a boxer, um, body image issues in athletes are come from a variety of sources. Certain sports value specific weights and body types more than others, and athletes will deal with puberty in different ways, and some student athletes struggle in control in other areas of their lives, which can lead to body image issues. How much is that affecting women's boxing today? Body.
Well, let's talk about the growth of it. So when we first started, it wasn't about body image.
Right.
It was about showing up. It was more authentic then.
Right.
Now, there was a diva. Her name is Stephanie Jaramillo. She showed up, and she was actually like she was vested. Like she was from New Mexico, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. She came in. Her mom was like her momager. She had her gloves. She had everything together. I looked at that girl. I was like, man, she got it together. I just got puffs and a t-shirt and jeans, and this girl, she's got it all. She has a little entourage and everything. And like I said, Uncle Roger was like, "You don't look like a fight." He just kept saying that to me. I took it the wrong way, though. I didn't know what he meant.
Okay.
I think he meant to tell me that I actually had an attractive face, so I didn't look like I should be a fighter.
Right. But
But
he
I wanted to
he,
prove
he
I
didn't
was
know
tough.
that's because you don't get hit, right?
Well, at the time I was green, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I didn't know. I really didn't know about the dangers of keeping this the way it is. Okay. So Stephanie Jaramillo came in. Her mom was nice. She was a sweet girl, and she was the first diva that I had ever met in boxing. And she was, like I said, she had our people invested already. She was talking to Don King and
Yeah.
everything like that at the time. She was in Teen Magazine. She was in all of that stuff. Okay, look her up, Stephanie Jaramillo, with a J.
Okay.
So um, I saw Kenesha Ely at the time. And these are legends. Like these are women. These are the women that started it.
The foundation.
Okay, Kenesha Ely. She was 17 years old at the time. Okay, I was turning 19. She was 17 at the time. Young girl, scrappy girl, talking shit. Right? Because she did everything. She came up. She was fighting from 119, and she was now like 178. She was beating everybody up.
Whoa.
Yeah, she was
Whoa.
bad.
Whoa.
Okay. Um, and for some reason, we just clicked. After she saw me crying in the lobby. She saw me crying. She goes, "Girl, where you?" She's from Virginia. She was from Newport News, Virginia. She said, "Girl, where you from?" I said, "Georgia." She said, "All right, after weigh-ins, we gonna go eat." And so she weighed in, and we went to the all-you-can-eat buffet and pigged out. And, she was just talking to me, and that, that's where you learn the expectations too. You start talking to other females and other women who would talk to you, because it tends to be catty too, right? But then, you kind of you find those who take you under their wing. So I was able to watch the tournament. Letitia Robinson fought in that tournament, and I told you that was when girls were getting slumped.
Right.
So Letitia showed up and cleaned house that tournament. Then she fought at 165. Kanisha cleaned up, fighting at 178. Stephanie Jaramillo, I don't think she won. There was another girl named Jean Martin from New York. She was a cop. Older, these were women at the time, but you see these names start coming out. There was a heavyweight called Cindy Zamudio, big girl, and she was a fighter, and you just seen all the different women at all the different weight classes coming. So there was no body image. Right. It was just some bad broads that come to scrap.
Right.
And take the risk. And some of them were getting slumped, and some of them, were nice. You saw the different styles, and you saw different styles that make different fights. There was a fighter named Monet Mincy from New York that fought, and she had this smooth. It was refreshing seeing something like that from being in the gym of all men and seeing only men fight. So yes, there was no body image, right? And then you start respecting the femininity of fighting.
Yes. I was going to ask about this.
Yes. So you start respecting that, yes, there's a place for us here.
Right.
We are women, and it's okay that we want to fight.
Right.
You also respect the masculinity of it.
Definitely.
To know that, yeah, but at the end of the day, we're going to take and give just like the men do. Right? There's no, there was another movie. I like to quote movie where the guy says, "There's no crying in baseball." A league of their own. Right? So there was no crying, and my little silly self was there crying in the lobby. So so there is no crying, and so you grow up and you understand where you fit in the whole thing,
right?
And self-actualization starts happening.
Well, healthy masculinity is just being honest with oneself about your own feelings, needs, and desires, and treating all others with that kindness and respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you're
both masculine and feminine of that, right? Definitely. The key term is that respect.
Exactly.
Okay. And so that road to self-actualization is understanding and respecting that thing that lies within you, right? Yeah. And not that cookie cutter that everyone or society tells you to be, right? I remember being on the bus one day. I'd gotten a shiner after training as sparring, and I'd gotten a shiner, and I sat on the bus and I was riding home, and the old lady she says, "You don't have to put up with that. He doesn't love you if he hits you like that." And I looked at her and I said, "No, I'm a boxer. Yeah. No, I got this box." And she says, "Baby, you don't have to make things up.
Yo, you should see him.
It's okay." Yeah, that's what I was like, I know. Yeah. That was the time. Right now, you see a little girl with a shiner. She says, "I'm a boxer." It's believable. At that time, it wasn't believable. Okay, right. So that was, that's being young. That was being a girl in it. Now, let's talk about now. There's a place for it. You walk into the gym. A coach will bring you into the program. There's something laid out. You have someone to look up to. Everybody knows now Clarissa Shields. She's the name. She's the person that got the prize that we all were fighting for.
But
Okay.
it's your generation and the time that you started that paved the way for the Clarissa Shields and the Katie Taylors and the Savannah
And
Marshalls.
the Katie and all of these ladies,
Right.
and the Natasha Jones, and all of these women that actually made it to the Olympics. It's a bittersweet thing, because we're the one we. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy, and it wasn't. There were no rules.
Right.
There wasn't any rules. I saw mothers fly in with their young kids just to fight. And then they lose, and then they, mommy, we go home, and they're like, yeah, mothers that wanted to fight, that showed up,
Definitely.
because they were telling us at the time that there's not enough of y'all. There's not enough of y'all to take this seriously. There's not enough of y'all to fight. So we used our own money. We used to use our own money. My coach used his own money.
See, this is why I'm
because
glad
he believed in this.
This is why I'm glad you've agreed to join the family and do the shows with us, is because realistically, these stories don't get heard. What'd you do?
You hear the background. I'm in the city, so it is what it is.
Yeah. But you finally have a platform for this information to get out. And honestly,
yes.
It's honestly, if this story doesn't get told, then it gets lost. And to move forward, you got to know where you came from. So for all these women out there that are now, respecting where, the Clarissa Shields and the Katie Taylors and the Savannah Marshalls and everything, they first have to know that it was your generation of boxing that paved the way to allow this to be what it is today. And your show, you're gonna give them. You're going to give them
right. So we get to talk about, just like I had to respect the crone that let me know, little girl, you got to think about what you're stepping into. I remember her face till this day. I thank her, right? Because I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for that ass whooping I got.
Yeah, it was a lesson. It wasn't a loss.
It was a lesson. She taught me a lesson, right? And I've taught some younger girls this very same lesson. Right, because that is your initiation into this life.
Yeah.
Right. Then this life is not a normal life.
No,
it's not a normal life.
It's a tough one, and it was a lot tougher when you did it. It was a lot tougher when you did it.
It was very tough because we were making room as we go. We had to kick the doors down.
Yeah.
Sometimes the door wasn't there. We had to climb through a window.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sneak in the back.
Yeah. Right. So we had to, and then we're like, oh, you here? Okay. Yeah. We're in here. And we fight. And so, Tom Moratis, he put together the first women's national Golden Glove tournament. And that's where I made my debut as a top fighter. The first time was where I fought a girl named Mickey Pryor.
Okay.
Now, Mickey Pryor, she was a legend at that time. They were talking about her, and she, I didn't know about Mickey Pryor, but I didn't know how devastating she was.
Right.
Because I think that's something that my coach kept away from me. So I would keep doing it because Coach Johnny would be like, "You a punk. You are a punk." Like, it's true. I was, in a sense, because my mom and dad and my family raised me to be the typical girl, even though there's a part of me that was that rugged tomboy. In my mind, I was conditioned to be, the girl and the softness and all of this stuff. So I never visited that side of myself. Right. And so when boxing is the thing, and that's what built the passion in me, because as I learned that side of myself, as I learned about Miss TooBad, as TooBad kept coming out, I started liking her.
The alter ego.
Liking her. Yeah. Right? Kind of like Fight Club, like, yeah, it's true. TooBad would come out, and then when she was done, you know, I saw what she left, and it's like people are looking at me like, damn.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I did that, you know? Anyway, Golden Gloves, I fought Mickey Pryor. First time, somebody showed me a magazine with Mickey Pryor in it, and she saw all the knockouts, saw all the countries she went to. She won the Witch Club Cup, which was a big tournament. Y'all don't hear about these tournaments, but these are the things that used to happen. You know, in Finland, there was a Witch Cup. There was a, you know, that's why we use the term crone, because like they were using these terms towards us, and they were, in a sense, they were like derogatory terms, but I wanted to win the Witch Cup. I wanted to be the witch, the
Right.
top witch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I lost that. I lost my first national Golden Gloves to Mickey Pryor. That was the one time after getting the brakes beat off of me that I lost. And I lost because I decided that Mickey was better than me. And so the year coming back, now we talk about the expectations. I understood what the expectations were.
Right.
And I stepped up to them. And I came back and I beat Mickey. I beat Mickey Pryor, and I became the national Golden Glove champion and the first national level champion female in the South region. Right. So I made history.
You did. You did.
Right. And another little bit of history. Yeah. Put me in the Georgia Amateur Boxing Hall of Fame, you know. So after you win the first national, my gosh, it just becomes addictive.
Yeah.
You know, now it becomes an addiction.
Right.
Yeah, because now I'm the baddest.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, bring them from California, bring them from the West Coast, bring them from up north or whatever. Right. Natalie's in this. So I became a top or an elite amateur. I got my spot on the women's national team.
Right.
For Olympic boxing. It was kind of like a play as you go. There was a qualifier for the first women's world championships. Now I'll tell you, when I got started, they had just going to nationals was a thing.
Right.
Now we had a world championship.
Right.
That was a thing. And Pan American Games came. That was a thing.
So you went through the whole evolution of each tournament getting bigger and bigger.
Yes. And the growth, the evolution of it. It wasn't already there. So it was like as you go. Right. So I got slighted at the USA Boxing Nationals. Right. I got slighted. I was the Golden Glove champion coming in, and this was USA Boxing Nationals. So I had my title, and then there was a fighter called Jill Emery. She was about 6 feet tall, something like that. She was tall. Yeah. She had a reach, boy. And they loved her. Jill Emery came, and she was out in New York, and she was a good boxer, very good boxer. And I got slighted. People thought that I won, but Jill Emery was the champ. So I didn't hurt her. Right. I didn't drop her or anything like that. She survived through the fight, and I didn't get a chance to represent the USA. So I came back home crying. My coach and Buddy Davis, which he is another Buddy and Bo Davis. They were a couple. And they ran the southern, I guess the southern region of Georgia USA Boxing. And actually they took me in like I was their daughter, Buddy and Bo Davis. They made sure that I was taken care of at each tournament. And they, you know, it was like, that's our girl, and made me feel like I belonged. Right. So he was so upset, you know, and heartbroken, because that was the chance to go to the Worlds, and I missed it. But like I said, you got to figure out how to get there.
Exactly.
So my mom was like, what? No, you're going to World Championships. You going, you won that fight. She saw the VHS and everything. VHS.
Short
How
age.
old I am. Okay, yes. She said, you're going. She called Jamaica. She called the Jamaican boxing board because my mom is a Jamaican woman. Right. You're not going to get over on no Jamaican woman.
No.
Okay? They's kind of like an Irish woman, like, you know, like they not going to get over on those type of women.
And they argue with their fists.
Yes. So my mom called the Jamaican boxing board, and she says, I have your female champion. Her name is Natalie. This is my daughter. She's going to represent you at the World Championships. And Mr. Brown, he said, oh, really? She says, yes. So he goes, who is she? What is she doing? You know, Jamaica hadn't even thought about females boxing at all. You know, so they got the footage. They saw who I was. They saw that I was actually, you know, the top in the USA. Yeah. They're like, okay, we'll take her.
Yep.
So they put you know, I was able now to represent the country that my family is from. And I became the first female to do that.
See, you've made history there as well.
Again,
going down in these history
and still the only female since that has gone to the World Championship. And I got a silver medal for my mom's country, for my country.
Yeah.
I got the silver medal. I got beat by Russia. Oh. And it is what it is. It was the point system, and she ran her hands on me and I got outpointed. So Irina Sinetskaya, you got it. Okay. Right. But I had I had the hammer. So the hammer. Yeah, you know, I earn Irina's respect because I tell you something too. Can't nobody fight like a Russian woman. They, you know, somebody came in, Parker with, I know Melissa Hernandez. She was around too in the amateurs. Let me tell you something about Melissa Hernandez. She fought 165 in the amateurs.
Wow.
And y'all know she's a small, she came out small. Yeah. She was fighting pro. I think she came out 120 as a pro. She fought 165. Ooh, she was always a hurricane. Yeah. Okay, she is a fighter. She is a fighter. Yeah. Going back to, you know, that amateur game or whatever. So, you know, these are the things that the World Championships, I ended up traveling all over the world. I ended up boxing and seeing that boxing was real in different countries.
Yes.
Right. I saw where women were boxing with the hijab.
Wow.
I thought that was cool as hell.
That is cool as hell.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah we in this. We badass. It's just like I said, it's like Fight Club.
Yeah. Definitely.
You start seeing that it's a move. I am not the only female that will scrap.
No. Man, you should meet my
there is a body of us badasses out here, and we're doing this, and we get together. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. So, you know, speeding up now into becoming a woman in boxing. Mm-hmm. Hard to be growing up now. You know, you start wanting to date. You start wanting to have relationships, boys and everything. And the average guy doesn't understand that I can't go out with you. You know, I can't stay out with you. I can't, ain't no love and everything because I got to get up in the morning, 4th, and I got to run around Stone Mountain 5 miles. You can't do it. Right? I can't go to movies. No, I'm in the gym. No, right? And It's tough too. It was tough being a young guy at the time and had a boxer for a girlfriend. So I had a boyfriend at the time, and he was very supportive. Um, Reggie, very supportive, and took me.
You met him boxing, didn't you?
No, 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 no,
No.
no. He actually was someone that he admired who I was outside, and we were best friends, and then he supported me, and he was there. He understood,
Right.
and he was my boyfriend.
You understood the
Yeah.
struggles and the sacrifices you had to make to do
Yes,
it.
yes, and I appreciate him for that. Well, we were still teenagers, so relationships. So being, having growing up, and then having, my that relationship dissolved. I grew out of that, and then Chris Johnson became one of my coaches, and we developed a relationship, and we got married.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we got married, and we had a son together. We have a son together, and now becoming married, then I was actually going to turn pro when I realized that I was pregnant.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
on
Wow.
the scale, on the scale.
Whoa.
Yeah, they come back with the stick. Oh, there's 2 lines on the stick. No, that's a bad test. We'll do it again. Come back.
Get another test. Get another test.
Yep. And that's what happened. And that's, when I realized, and the thing about finding out then, people are looking at me at the time, and I was at the height of my career.
Right.
Everybody thought, this girl, she's going to make it. Like, this is going to be this. I was the Clarissa Shields at the time.
Right.
I had all the USA Boxing I was athlete of the year, Olympic Committee, boxing female athlete of the year. I was the jam, and I find out that I'm pregnant. So people were asked to saying, are you going to have it?
Right.
That was the question. And I decided to be a mom. And, it was a sacrifice. I sacrificed that career for my son. And one of the best decisions I ever made. He is a gift to me, even till now. He goes, even I was shy to do this podcast thing.
Oh.
And he goes, he said, no, he said, what, Mom? He said, Mom, they need to know about you.
Exactly.
So going into that, and parenting, being a mom who boxes, having a baby in the gym, deciding to go back. I went up to 300 pounds in my pregnancy. Woo! Yeah, and then coming down from that, so doing that, body image.
Yeah.
Now you got to be sexy now. Mia St. John made it now. You got to be sexy if you're gonna fight, right? So now body image and all of these things, the pressures of that are coming.
Right.
And
so as a woman fighter, there's tons of added pressures that people don't know about, man. Like with the relationships, the body image, respecting and getting masculinity, and respecting the femininity, and there's so much things that you guys have to go through.
There's a different dynamic for us. We come in and we want to do what we want to do, but there are these hurdles. You still have to be a lady.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, or if you're not a lady, you gotta be that thing that you are. You
gotta be that bad girl.
You gotta be that bad girl, right? And you grow into who you are. You grow into the villain. You grow into the good girl. You grow into that character that you're gonna be.
Right.
So I became Miss TooBad.
Yes.
And then, after a while, I'm with the philanthropy I've done. I love giving back to the community. I love teaching people what I do. I love empowering the vulnerable population. I love fighting for the vulnerable population.
That's the sugar, right? That's the sugar.
That's when sugar came in. That's when they said, you know what, you're so sweet. You're not bad. You're not too bad. You're sweet, like sugar. They start calling me Sugar. My coach used to call me Sugar sometimes too, because my style was like Sugar Ray Robinson. He molded me to have that fighting style like Sugar Ray
definitely.
Robinson, not Leonard.
All the fans, if they haven't seen you fight, they need to go and watch your clips, man. Because honestly,
Oh goodness, yeah, I had some good days at the office, and I've had some bad days at the office, but y'all will see it. Yes, right.
Natalie, honestly, it's been a great show so far. What can we expect for the next episode? What
Oh yes. So now,
just drop a topic.
Going into the next episode now. Thank you all for coming and tuning in. Thank you, Parker Woodley, for dropping that name. And yes, I know. The next show, we're going to visit that pound for pound list. We're going to see who's the baddest out here. We want to talk about them. We're going to see what their strengths are, what they may need to work on. We want to talk about if they're indeed worthy of that pound for pound spot that they have on the list, and get down to the real nitty gritty of the female boxing terrain, and how the level of competition now with the second Olympics that has happened is changing, and how everybody is stepping up. So yes, that's the next topic. Come on, tune in, talk to me, and you know what? Come in with some names. I want everybody to drop some names, and let me know who you guys see out here, and who you guys want to talk about. I know them, and there's not many out there that I don't know. So let's talk it. Let's talk the truthfulness about it. Like, subscribe, share. Okay, come back on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. and chat with me and Mike, or me and the other somebody else on the team, because we all talking about this.
Get some guests, whatever. Talking Fight fans, you heard it here. You want to hear the nitty gritty. You want to hear the dirt. You want to hear the inside of the women's boxing and what's going on in the pound for pound list. You're going to join us next week, 7:30 on the Sugar Show with Miss TooBad Brown. Guys, you're not going to want to miss this. Do me a favor, jab that like, hook subscribe, knock out those comments, hit up TalkinFight.com, hit that subscribe and set that reminder so you get those notifications so you don't miss this amazing show with Miss TooBad Brown, Miss Sugar. Natalie, thank you again.
That sweet talk.
Yo, you know it.
About the sweet science of women's boxing.
You heard it there. That's it. To all the fans out there, thanks for tuning in. You know what
Good night. Bye-bye.